B. Wilson, First Bite, How We Learn to Eat. Explore the fascinating world of how we learn to eat in B. Wilson's First Bite. This summary dives into the factors that develop our palate, the role of our food environment, and the importance of mealtime routines. Discover how our taste preferences change over time and how they can be influenced by parental pressure, food marketing, and even our grandparents' eating habits. By understanding the foundations of our eating habits, we can develop healthier and more enriching food experiences.
The learned palate. Are children naturally inclined to dislike foods like broccoli or Brussels sprouts? It's a common belief, but research shows that our taste preferences are actually learned, not innate. Today, we often crave sugar because it was rarely poisonous in history. However, what is considered sweet varies among individuals. Surprisingly, around 1/3 of the Western population doesn't rely on sweetened cereals for breakfast. Your food environment while growing up plays a crucial role in shaping your palate. By eating less processed and low-sugar foods during childhood, something like a fresh corn cob can taste almost as sweet as candy. Thus, our taste preferences are not inborn but rather acquired through our upbringing and food experiences. Impact of childhood eating habits. Many of our eating habits and preferences stem from the mealtime routines and parental influences of our childhood. These habits can persist into adulthood and even dictate our inclinations towards snacks and desserts. Studies show that children can make sensible eating decisions on their own and may even self-medicate through their food choices. Pressuring a child to eat certain foods, however, leads to stress and may discourage exploration of new tastes. Are you surrounded by memories of parents insisting you finish every morsel on your plate, regardless of how full you were? This reveals a significant aspect of our food environment. It's not just what we eat, but how we eat that counts. Childhood mealtime routines strongly shape our eating habits and preferences as adults. For instance, if you cherished your snack time as a child, you're likely to crave snacks in your later years. Often, even our parents' predilections for, say, indulging in a delicious dessert after a hearty dinner, become our own. Parental pressure seeps into our palate, especially in the realm of reluctant veggie consumption. The presumption that children won't take their greens unless pushed hasn't gone entirely unchallenged. In 1929, Dr. Clara Marie Davis of Cleveland, Ohio, led a groundbreaking study that proved children possessed the ability to make sensible eating decisions without prodding. Babies aged 6 to 11 months were allowed to choose their meals from a list of 34 different foods, including sweet milk and organs like kidneys. With zero influence from the supervising nurse, these children could eat whatever they fancied. Across the 6-year study, each child willingly sampled all the food options, debunking the myth that little ones refuse to try new things. Surprisingly, the young participants also displayed an ability to self-medicate using nutrient-rich foods like raw beef, beets, and carrots when they were unwell. Evidently, children intuitively understand the importance of diverse, balanced nutrition. The key takeaway here is that pressuring kids to eat certain foods won't broaden their palate, it'll only serve as a source of stress. The hidden kid food crisis. Today's children are being fed foods disguised as harmless, kid food, yet their nutritional value is alarmingly low. Parents unwittingly enable this unhealthy trend, believing that processed foods like potato chips, fast food, and sugar-filled cereals are normal for children. In 2000, top British school lunch options included hamburgers, pizza, and fries, while a 2013 study revealed 75% of food marketed to kids has shockingly low nutritional content. Efforts to combat this issue, such as Jamie Oliver's school lunch program and Michelle Obama's Let's Move campaign, have fallen short. This is largely because children haven't been taught to view food as nourishment, an essential aspect in creating long-term change. Childhood habits shaping adult eating. The way we're raised to view food as children can significantly impact our eating habits as adults. This is particularly evident in China, where childhood obesity is on the rise due to well-intentioned grandparents overfeeding their grandchildren. Urban parents working all day leave their children under the care of grandparents who grew up in times of food scarcity. They believe chubby children will fare better if famine strikes. However, for current generations, famine isn't a looming threat, and these excessive servings only contribute to unhealthy eating habits. Feeding children to pacify their emotions also establishes a relationship between food and emotional regulation from a young age. Parents who feed crying infants to keep them quiet inadvertently create a tendency for comfort eating, which may manifest as binge eating to cope with anger or sadness in adulthood. Another common practice among well-intentioned parents or caregivers is to encourage children to eat everything on their plate. This approach can condition children to eat mindlessly, consuming beyond satiety and stopping only when their plates are empty. This practice, too, can carry forward into adulthood, contributing to poor eating habits. It's essential to recognize that our early experiences with food shape our behavior and choices later in life. By examining how food plays a role in our upbringing, we can better understand the development of our eating habits and their outcomes. Recognizing these patterns can bring awareness to the necessity of implementing thoughtful parenting approaches and promoting healthy relationships with food from a young age. Busting gendered food myths. Society's stereotypes of boys eating steak and girls eating salads can lead to nutritional imbalances among children. Girls actually require more iron-rich foods, like steak, to compensate for blood loss during menstruation. Boys, on the other hand, would benefit from more vitamins and nutrients found in vegetables. Furthermore, the mindset that boys should eat more while girls watch their weight is harmful, as overweight children need nourishing food regardless of gender. A major issue is that parents often fail to recognize their child's weight problems, viewing children within unhealthy weight ranges as normal. This issue tends to persist into adulthood, with a significant portion of overweight adults believing they don't need to lose weight. It's crucial to shift these perceptions and promote well-rounded diets for all children, regardless of gender. Untangling hunger from appetite. Our modern mindset often confuses hunger and appetite, creating problems with overeating and emotional eating. Hunger is an innate, primal drive to satisfy our energy needs, whereas appetite is a desire for specific foods which may not equate to genuine hunger. In previous generations, hunger was accepted as a normal sensation until it was time for a meal, whereas today, we feel compelled to satiate any hint of hunger immediately. Fortunately, both children and adults can be taught to differentiate between actual hunger and emotional or appetite-driven desires. Through guided exercises and techniques, we can better understand and manage our hunger cues, leading to healthier eating habits and a renewed appreciation for our meals. Crafting healthier national diets. Japan's transformation of its national diet demonstrates the potential for positive change in eating habits on a widespread scale. By incorporating various ingredients and techniques, Japan has improved the health and longevity of its population. Supporting and encouraging individuals to realize their desire for change can lay the groundwork for healthier dietary practices. In Japan, you may have observed the remarkably low rates of obesity among the population. This is no mere coincidence. The Japanese diet is one of the primary contributors to the country's high life expectancy and overall well-being. Furthermore, Japan's journey in reshaping its national diet demonstrates that healthier eating habits can be cultivated on a nationwide scale. Present-day Japan's cuisine differs significantly from its historical counterpart, which consisted mainly of rice, vegetables, and miso soup. This shift in dietary practices started during the Meiji Restoration in the 19th century when the nation opened its borders to the world and began comparing its eating habits to those of other countries. Recognizing the need for improvement in certain areas, Japan empowered its citizens to make positive dietary changes, such as incorporating more proteins into their vegetarian meals. Japanese cuisine borrowed techniques like stir-frying and barbecuing from Chinese and Korean dishes, creatively adapting them to fit within the framework of traditional Japanese meals. By serving smaller portion sizes and reimagining familiar dishes, the country effectively embraced both change and tradition. The question remains, how can we inspire such a transformation within our communities, families, or even countries? The key is to avoid dictating how others should eat or live, as this approach is likely to fuel resistance rather than acceptance. Instead, focus on nurturing people's innate desire for change. Listen to and support those striving to become healthier, learn new recipes, or improve their overall well-being. As Japan's example illustrates, large-scale changes are possible, and with the right approach, they can start right at home.
In conclusion, First Bite, How We Learn to Eat, demonstrates that taste is not inherent but develops through our food environment and experiences. While our diet might be influenced by factors such as parental pressure, marketing, and societal norms, it remains entirely possible to change our eating habits for the better. By fostering a healthy attitude towards food in ourselves and our children, we can break free from unhealthy dependencies and misconceptions about nutrition. Embracing change in our food environment and carefully considering our habits have the power to transform our palate and lead us towards a healthier and more fulfilling relationship with what we eat.